So today, first we are going to discuss about what is ASM and how exactly we are going to make use of ASM, all those things. So let us start with that one. So ASM stands for Automatic Storage Management, and basically this concept is more related to the storage level, or the hard disk management and all. But as a DBA, I mean, even though it is more of a storage level task, but sometimes DBA would be stepping in and will be taking care of some activities. So that is the main background of ASM. So, I mean, when you go to real time, for example, when you take some servers always will have limited hard disk slots. So even our PCs or laptops also the same. So when you take a laptop, usually there will not be more than one hard disk slot, and when you take PC, there could be two or three hard disk slots. So assuming the same is the case with the server. For example, so let's say you are looking out a particular server here. So in this particular server, whatever the top four portions that you are seeing, I hope you can see the numbers also. So I'm just I made it big, so you can see the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 are also there. So that means it is basically having 4 hard disk slots. Okay, everybody can able to see my screen. Okay, uh, okay, let me stop and screen it again. So funny, can you check once again now? So is that working? So fine. Not sure what is the issue. Others can able to see it. So probably you need to check from your side. So fine. So whatever the thing you are seeing, this is an example of a server where you are having 4 hard disk slots. So that means even if you take one hard disk slot with 1 terabyte capacity, that means this server can have a maximum of 4 terabytes of size. So let's assume you are using this particular server for your database, and your database can have till 4 terabytes of size. But after 4 terabytes, if the database is still growing up, then either you have two options. Either you need to add some external storage, just like if our PC or laptop hard disk got full, then we will be using external hard disk kind of thing. So in the same way, whenever these 4 slots of hard disks are full, then we need to use some external storage. That is one option that we have. And apart from that, we can have the database moving into another server where it is having more than 4 slots, or it is having more than 10 slots, something like that. But moving to another server will be a costly effort. Why? Because you need to purchase a new server with more hard disk slots, and that definitely increase the cost. I mean, whatever the investment that client is going to keep, so that investment will go high when we go for purchasing a new server. So rather than that, it is preferred to use or to add an external storage, and usually that external storage whatever we use in real time is called as storage area network, or shortly called as SAN. So we are going to call it as storage area network, or shortly we are going to call it as SAN. So SAN, how it is going to look like, I'm just showing you here. So you people can have a look. So okay, so I think this will be more clear. So here, when you look at these things, these are actually 3 SANs. It is not one SAN. So it is totally of 3 SANs. So to distinguish, I am just drawing this line. So I am drawing a yellow color line, you can see. So wherever I am drawing, that is the differentiator. So totally this is like this. So this is the first SAN where you can see on the top, and this is the second SAN what you have, and this is the third SAN what you have. So basically this rack is having 3 SANs. Now what you can see over here in the red color button is all those are hard disks. So the first SAN is having totally of 12 hard disks, and the second SAN is also having the same, and third one is also having the same. So basically I can define SAN as a pool of hard disks, or SAN is a combination of multiple hard disks. So I can define like that. So whatever the features that are applicable for our external hard disk, the same is applicable for SAN also. For example, the flexibility of external hard disk is you don't require to install any operating system. That is the major advantage with external hard disk. Same is the case with the SAN also. So you want to use a SAN, you just bring that, configure it, and connect that to the network cable, to the server to which you want to add. So you don't require to install anything separately. So that is one advantage. And number 2, for external hard disk, it is a plug and play device. Just you will be connecting it and it will start working it. Similarly, a SAN is also like that. You will be just connecting through a LAN cable to the server, or a USB cable to the server, and server will start detecting these hard disks, and it can be acting as an external storage. That is the same case. And number 3, for external hard disk, the advantage is it can work on any operating system. For example, today if I have purchased an external hard disk, I can connect that external hard disk to Windows machine. Tomorrow the same external hard disk I can connect to a Linux machine. So it is basically an independent of operating system. So similarly, SAN is also like that. So today we purchase one SAN, we can connect it to a Windows operating system or Linux operating system. Tomorrow we can shift that SAN in order to connect to a Solaris operating system. So we can have that flexibility with the SAN. So whatever the features or advantages possible with external hard disk, the same is applicable for SAN also. And now coming back to this diagram, what you are seeing on the screen, As you can see, one sandbox is having 12 slots, and that means you can have 12 hard disks on this SAN, and each hard disk is having a capacity of 450 GB. So that is what it is mentioned on the diagram. So that means the total SAN capacity is 12 into 450 GB, so which comes more than 6 terabytes or 7 terabytes of space. So your server is already having 4 terabytes, and this SAN is having around 6 or 7 terabytes, or let's take 8 terabytes. So 8 plus 4, altogether 12 terabytes of space will be there. So that means your database can grow from 4 terabytes to till 12 terabytes if you add one particular SAN. And of course, this has been increasing nowadays. Maybe this particular picture is of very old SAN, but nowadays the SANs are having more slots, like 20 slots, 30 slots and all. And also each hard disk capacity is going till 2 terabytes. That means if you purchase a SAN with 10 slots and each slot can hold 2 terabytes, then totally in the SAN itself you are having 20 terabytes. So that is how the things are changing with the SAN. So before we proceed further, anyone is having questions? Yes, through network only we are going to connect SAN to the server. But that network will be having a high capacity LANs. I mean, the network connection will be in 1 Gbps or 2 Gbps. So that kind of range will be there, not like 1 Mbps or 2 Mbps. Yes, exactly. So whenever the internal hard disk is full, then we are going to make use of an external hard disk. And if you combine multiple external hard disks together, you are going to call it as a SAN or storage area network. Okay, and one more advantage that we have with SAN is always I am comparing SAN with external hard disk because both will act similar. So if you take external hard disk, one thing we understood is the moment you purchase it, you can start using it. So no installation of operating system or something is required. Similarly, you don't require to format external hard disk. I mean, I hope everybody might have the experience on installing Windows XP on a fresh machine or existing machine. So when you try to install Windows XP on a laptop or on a PC, basically it is going to format your hard disk, and the two types of formatting are there, NTFS and FAT32 and all. So you need to do that formatting, and then only the hard disk will be detected or will be used. But whereas this I am talking about internal hard disk, but for external hard disk usually you don't do any formatting, just you will purchase from the shop and you will start using it. So similarly, even for SAN also, whatever the hard disks that are there in the SAN, you don't require to format them. So the moment you connect SAN through a network cable to the server, you can start using that particular hard disk. So here also there is no formatting of hard disk is required, and these kind of unformatted hard disks are also called as raw devices. So I am just typing that in the chat window. Raw devices is nothing but unformatted hard disk. So you are not going to do any formatting, just you are going to plug it and you are going to start using it. So that is what another name. Some people will call it as raw devices. So if somebody says we are using raw devices, don't worry, it means that they are using SAN only. So now, now the thing is, whenever you have these many hard disks in a SAN, then definitely we require some software to manage these hard disks. Like suppose we have in the diagram, you can see 12 hard disks are there for each SAN. So we require some software in order to manage how many SANs are there in our network, and in each SAN how many hard disks are there, or how I can add another new hard disk, or how can I remove the existing hard disk, and all those kind of management. So basically hard disk management is required, and for that we will be using some software. So whenever you purchase a SAN from some company, that company itself will give you that software. For example, if you purchase a SAN from Dell, then Dell will give you some software in order to manage the sandbox. If you purchase it from IBM, IBM will give its own software. So it will be happening like that. So that is purely the third party or the external tool that we are going to use. But Oracle from 10G onwards came with the concept called ASM, that is Automatic Storage Management, and this ASM is basically a software which is to manage hard disks. So till now what we are doing is whatever the software that was provided by the vendor, so we are going to use that software. But with the introduction of ASM, by looking at its advantages, people started using ASM as the disk management tool. And what is that advantage that we have with ASM? So suppose you want to store a data file, or you want to create a data file. Normally, how we are going to add a data file, or while creating a table space, how we will be mentioning the data file size. So suppose if you mention your data files as 20 GB, then if you are doing it in a normal file system, then this entire 20 GB will be allocated into one hard disk. But in case of SAN, if you create the same 20 GB file, Oracle is going to adjust that particular 20 GB to all the hard disks. So if you take in our case, suppose you are creating a data file, or you are adding a data file with the size of 20 GB, then the 20 GB will be distributed across the 12 hard disks what you are seeing on the screen. So basically this concept of dividing the data into all the hard disks, we are going to call it as striping the data. So instead of keeping your data at one location, you are going to stripe the data across multiple disks. And these disks are managed with the help of a software, and that software we are going to call it as ASM. So the first advantage of ASM is striping, that is splitting the data across multiple hard disks. And the second advantage we have is mirroring. Suppose if one hard disk fails, then there would be a chance for us in order to remove that failed hard disk, and we can add one more hard disk. and all this can be done without shutting down the server or without shutting down the database and without touching anything from SAN level. So even if you want to replace one hard disk, you want to remove one hard disk, you want to add one more hard disk. So for all these kind of management related things, then you can make use of this ASM concept. So everybody is clear with these points, or anyone is having any questions? So that is how we have ASM in place, and more about ASM you can go through several documents from Google, and now let us go and see how we can configure ASM in real time. So it may take some time. Okay. So basically, to practically do this ASM thing, you require to practice this on VMware Linux machine. So apart from VMware Linux machine, if we can't practice that actually on a direct Linux machine. Why? Because we need to add some hard disks here. So we have to go through some procedure. So we will go through that procedure now. So for that, actually I am creating one Linux machine, fresh Linux machine in VMware. So but it seems still it will take some time to complete. So let's wait for this to be done, and we have a question. In real time, the highest capacity can be, I have never checked that actually, but it can be of 5 terabytes or 10 terabytes also. I mean, in the market where for home purpose we are using, still 1 terabyte is quite famous. Even we don't have 2 terabytes also. But when we go to real time for server level, at least one hard disk can go up to 4 terabytes, 5 terabytes also. Yes, we need to take a fresh Linux machine without any database installed and all. I mean, whatever I am configuring is a fresh Linux machine. Yes, it is possible in laptop, Samir. You need to just install VMware and through that we can able to do that.